we're like, ooh, we're just getting some ideas going, some fresh ideas. Mwah, look out, because we're gonna like,
Mwah, look out.
Yes. Well, you get us alone, we got to do something. So it's like with the First Nations where we do a tobacco circle. We did that on purpose, where you would go inside and you couldn't come out and you had to stay with yourself and stay with yourself and stay with yourself. It could be a challenge. Now, when I did mine, I had 7.
You got to accentuate the positive. Wow, I feel good. A little bit of feel good goes a long way.
You're listening to Karen Swain, teacher of deliberate creation, accentuating the positive, showing you a way to a better life.
Accentuating the positive, it's not just fad, it's sanity. Who in their right mind would accentuate anything else?
If you feel like that's what you want to do.
So we record this, I'll upload it to YouTube later. Alrighty. Hey guys, Karen here with the beautiful and gorgeous cosmic oracle, Barbara Jean Lindsey, who's just shared this live on her Facebook as well. So this is my first live. Hello, beautiful, gorgeous one.
Hello there. So happy to be here, connecting with you again.
I know. We have so much fun. So you did an amazing thing the other day with all your cosmic friends live on Facebook, and that was great. I loved tuning into that. But we thought we'd get together and talk about what's going on right now from a cosmic perspective. So. So this is what I was just saying to Barbara Jean before. Somebody I know posted on Facebook, 160,000 people die a day in Australia, and it's only been 440 so far. Oh, no, they say 440 people every single day, and we're collapsing a whole economy because of 16 deaths a month, while the cure exists and it is used in many countries, and there's a lockdown, and they say it's not a lockdown, it's a coup. He reckons it's a coup. What do you think about that?
I think there's some legitimacy to that. My statistics for you today is in USA, 143,500 confirmed deaths with cases, and 2,572 deaths as of 10:30 this morning. And like you were talking about, in California was 6,000. But I don't know what the statistics are for general flu. Yeah, there is a problem here, right? We all get that. But I think it could have been handled differently. But I guess hindsight, we're going through this, right? We're all going through this. We're going to get to the other side of it. And it's where we go together, and with our positive, not positive out there, it's positive, and I have a choice in this situation. I still have a choice. Yeah. And I kind of like where they kind of took some of those choices away, and I'm kind of pissed off about that, but also everyone's doing the best we can do too in all of this. So there's got to be, I'm still kind of the person that would find make lemonade out,
Make lemonade out of lemons. Well, absolutely. I had a bit of a download this morning. I was watching someone yakking away on somewhere, like Facebook Live or something. We've, as light weavers, as difference makers, as cosmic oracles, and everyone, you have to check out Barbara Jean's show as well. It's just the Cosmic Oracle show. We've been weaving light. We've been anchoring the light, allowing, there's somebody reckons there's 4 billion light workers, star seeds on the planet. That's a 4.5 billion. That's a number that's been thrown around. I don't know if that's the number, but there's a lot of us here, and we're here for a reason. People have said that in order to change the system, you have to be inside the system. They can't change it for us. We have to do it ourselves. And so in order to change it, they have to incarnate as human. And you're one of them, right? When you had your near-death experience, you went up there and were hanging out with, you were hanging out with all sorts of cosmic people. I don't know, you're having a lovely time. So our energetic, being in the body, there's a reason for it. Like we're anchoring, we're holding the light. And I just had this download this morning that as the earth is quiet, because there's some videos going around of drone shots of places like Milan and Rome and these really busy, crazy, busy cities, and how absolutely empty they are. Like the earth is still and quiet because everyone's inside doing isolation. I mean, they're sort of going and being fearful, but at the same time, there's this stillness across the earth, this quietness. Like I felt in this big, crazy city of Sydney. A few days ago, I was just out in the morning in my dressing gown, just tuning in, and there was a quietness in the city that I had never felt before. You know, that it was like during the morning rush hour, and there was just this stillness. And I think that the powers that be, the cosmic, you know, light weavers up there are sort of making us still so they can really anchor some grids and really shift some of the energies. What do you think? What do you feel?
Yeah, well, you know, I was thinking somewhere along those lines myself, because usually I'm a night person. And the reason I'm a night person is because the psychic time then is quieter, right? In midnight on or 2 in the morning is when I would get up and do my meditations or write or have my little talks with my guides and Great Spirit, and I don't have to do that, which is, you know, kind of wild in a way, and where it feels peaceful, even though there's all the fear. There's also that good part of where, and I'm really, you know, my heart goes out to anyone who's had a family member pass, of course, during this. But I know I talk with my daughter, and her husband, he's home, and he never gets to spend enough time with her kids, and they're planting a garden together.
Nice.
Okay, so I mean, just a lot of that where we get to have time with our families, and that's the way it should have always been. Over like 200,000 people got together, and they're doing homeschooling now. Maybe we're supposed to always be homeschooled. I don't think they counted on this. Whoever slammed us down, we're gonna bounce back up, probably stronger, wiser, and more together.
Well, however we bounce back, we're going to be different. I mean, you know, what's happening is that it's apart from the fear, there's so much happening. There's a transmutation of fear because, you know, as humans, we just marinate in fear. I mean, seriously, you know, we do. We don't even notice that we're in fear most of the time. We're kind of like worried about being too fat, too thin, too old, too young, not good enough. You know, we're just kind of marinating, successful, you know, I've got to make money, you're inside this conversation, like driven. And it's all fear-based, and then we're bombarded, you know, that's why I went on radio 10 years ago, we're bombarded with fear-based messages from the media. Like every commercial, think about it, every commercial is about how you're not good enough. So you've got to buy this product because this will make you better because you're not okay as you are. So buy this product and it'll make you better. They're all fear-based messages. So there is a huge transmutation of fear, I feel, at the moment on the planet. But the money system, it's the businesses. As I'm listening to my community, it's the businesses that are like the yoga studios and the meditation studios and the events, you know, the gatherings and people that are in events or any business where people gather, restaurants, shops, you know, they're all shut. I mean, everything's shut. And so there's going to be a huge shift with that because they can't stay alive. There's like this massive change.
Yeah, and financially, for sure, that's the aftermath more than the health aftermath. We'll get through the virus, it's the financial crisis. But again, people are classes online. They never thought you can do a yoga class easily online, you know, and you can do your events online. And I mean, it's not perfect, but it's still doable. And we can do that. My daughter has teaches vocal lessons online all around the world. She travels all over, and that way she has the freedom. So I think it fits a lot with the younger generation too, where they want to travel, they want to world travel, and they can do their business from their computer, and it gives them freedom in some ways that we didn't have.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I've got friends that do kirtan and dance, and they're doing it all online. It's amazing. It's like 15 Zoom conferences a day with people having,
Yeah.
dinner parties like on Zoom, and like, let's catch up for a cup of tea, a drink. Let's do some dance, some conscious singing, some kirtan, like learning yeah, it's all online. I had my little online group yesterday morning, and I was chatting to one of my tribe, Kristen, and we were talking about the difference between online and offline in the energy, because my guides, because I've been online for years,
Mm.
and my guides keep telling me do more physical groups. I've had a few events in my home. They're saying do more, and I'm like, why? It's a lot of work. It usually costs me more than I ever make. If I ask for donations, I'm usually out of pocket. Online's so easy. And they said, oh, when you come together and you blend your energy, you expand it exponentially. It's really powerful. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that. And then I asked yesterday what was the benefit of being online? Like, why are we now all online? And they said, well, when you're teaching online, whether you're teaching guitar or meditation or consciousness or whatever you're teaching, you don't have the benefit of tuning in as much. You can still tune into people's energy, but as sort of like drinking of the consciousness of the person that's teaching you. Even if you're learning piano, if someone's sitting next to you and you're sort of watching it, so you have to actually tap into your own ability or own ingenuity. It's more of a self-empowering thing, because you don't have the benefit of that physical contact or that physical energy. It was a really
Mhm.
interesting download. I thought, yeah, that makes sense. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
you have to work it out for yourself. So a lot of people go to the guru and sit at the foot of
Yeah.
the guru and go and sort of bask in the energy, and then they go home and they can't find that energy again. So that energy lives in us. It's not coming from the guru, it kind of lives in us. So it's sort of asking us to get really in touch with our brilliance, and yeah, and be in that
Yeah.
sort of your own little universe. So it's
Yeah.
interesting.
I agree. I agree. And it's where it has nothing, in a way, well, the consciousness is held inside here and here.
Hmm.
But once you take off the skin dressing, right,
Hmm.
we're still here. So we get to connect, not body to body, but soul to soul, spirit to
Yeah,
spirit. So maybe
yeah,
it's faster, maybe it's quicker. Maybe that connection is like, boom, there it is,
yeah.
kind of like that. And then I like it because it's from all over the world, can be there all at once, is represented. So it
Yeah,
makes the world much smaller
yeah.
in
That's
some
what,
ways too.
yes, exactly, Barbara Jean. That's what I love too. That's why I've been online, because I've got this global community. When my
Hmm.
guests come into the Inner Sanctum, you've been in the Inner Sanctum as a guest. We've got
Yes,
people in
yes.
Norway, Sweden, at the moment, Germany, Canada, US, New Zealand, we've had Australia. It's a global community. It might not be millions of us, just a handful, but this, and they're kind of representing their countries. Like, we're coming together from
Hmm.
all these places in the world to this little concentrated group, and we're kind of representing these countries. It's really beautiful. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I feel fortunate to be a part of it. And I have a large group following in Australia.
Do
That's one of
you?
my biggest ones. Yes.
Seriously,
Yeah.
for
So
the show, or for you in general, or for your work?
on the show, but mainly on my Facebook page. So it just shows Australia's my biggest
Ah.
fans, even more than United States in some ways. So
Oh my God, it's the opposite for
I
me. I
have to
haven't.
come visit.
You should. Yeah, you can come stay with me. But I'm the opposite. I
Okay.
have a large following in the States more than Australia. I know a lot of people in Australia. I know a lot of people in Sydney, but they're all doing their own thing. They're all these amazing oracles
Yeah.
themselves. But the following I have from Americans, that's
Oh,
really
that's
interesting, isn't it?
hilarious,
Isn't that
isn't it?
hilarious?
We like the accent. It's the accent, darling. It's like,
The accent, the accent.
yes.
So, so what are your guides? Let's hear a little message from your mob.
Okay,
What are
let's hear what they have to say.
tuning in?
Do you have a exact question or just general? Let's go with general,
Oh, who's
or with
watching? Is anyone watching?
coronavirus, or
Has anyone got any questions? You can pop them in the Facebook. Let's ask about. No, I don't have an exact question, but
okay,
let's ask about the next, week or so. How long is this
okay,
shutdown going to ask? Let's ask that. How long is the shutdown going to
okay.
ask? last?
The
The dog's piping in.
Mary Margaret has an idea. What a year, sweetheart, here. There you go. I'm sorry, everybody. There we go. Here, you want to say hi? I think she wants to say hi. So, say hi, Mary.
Beautiful.
Hi, sweetie.
Hello.
Okay. What's that about? Here, there you go. All right. You're fine. You're fine. I don't know. So that's from the animal world. They're a part of this too. You know, we're all in this together. So the animal people as well, the animal kingdom. So let's take a look. The first date I get is around like June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly what that is, but June 1st, there's a shift, a big shift in June, and then a bigger shift in July. And out of the harshness, what is today's date? Like, I'm going to say the first date that pops up is like April 21st. Not sure what that is. And that we all do such a good job of being aware,
Mm-hmm.
that things start to slowly come back, but not as fast as we think,
Mm-hmm.
and in a different way of the way that we look at things. We're much more thankful and grateful for our things, and we're stronger with our connection with ourself and with family and with source. And we're kind of fueled up. The picture is like we were all working so hard and so spread out that we were vibrating in a much lower vibration. And by staying home just temporarily, the opposite happens, where people get stronger and more connected. And then when they go out finally after this initial first, they're stronger and want to take more action in their lives for themselves.
Yeah.
So personal responsibility.
So Rodden here has
So-
asked the same question. What are you getting as to when it'll be over, Karen? But that's what we're talking about. I'm getting that it's not going to be over, because the ramifications of this are just ongoing. But yeah, the question would really be, as I just asked you, Barbara Jean, when we can all come outside again and hug each other, you know, like when it's safe to come outside again and start our groups again, like when can we come together and dance together and meditate together and, I don't know, have parties, and that's sort of over. So you said April.
I see they're going to give us a date, but we're not going to listen to that date. We're going to listen to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever date they put out there, I see the people actually coming out before that date.
Yeah. Yeah. So you think
it's like they give a date,
mm-hmm.
and yeah. And then there'll be a shift, and people will go, nope, we decide when we're coming out, and not in a ignorant way either, but in a very powerful way.
So there's a guy on Facebook saying, Edward is saying 2 to 5 million. So this is your prediction, Edward. 2 to 5 million people dead in the States, 20% unemployed, won't be over until late this year, he says. Interesting. What does he say here? There's another one. Ron says here, and others get a different date scenario to your colleague there. Yeah, well, there's no real date, I think, as Barbara Jean says. For sure they will, and the people will have had enough. Yeah, there's no real date. I think that, look, even I go out to the supermarket and walk down to the beach to go to the supermarket, and there are people everywhere. You know, it's not that busy, but the beaches are shut. Like, there's no one on the beach. When they first shut the beaches, there were these rebels just like, Bucky, I'm going to go for a swim and do my morning swim, because people swim up and down the beach. You know, they're just doing their thing. But this weekend, that was the weekend before last, this weekend, there was not a soul on the beach. Like, there was just, I think they were arresting people that actually got on the beach, which is kind of crazy. But there's still people milling around, walking their dogs, just sort of living life as usual. They're probably all home from work. So light workers unite, at least through to the 1st of June. Yeah, so whatever the date is, we just have to make the best of this time. Have to make the best of it. There's Helen, she's shared it or liked it or something, few people tuning in. Yeah, we have to make the best of it, don't we?
I think we're already doing that. I think it's our nature
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. We're pretty amazing beings. We're like bright, shining like the sun, and you know, and we forget that. And I just see whoever figured this out there's that scale, and then there's like the big source scale, and it's like we have so many beings helping us. I feel like the UFO, the ET, that whole squadron of ships, they are helping too. They're doing their best to help. If we show up and do our best, and Earth shows up, she's been doing her best. So this is a reset. I think we can take. For me, it would be that reset with nature. And I see a lot of people. I was going to take my dog to go for her walk, usually at the trail, and there were so many cars at the trail, I couldn't go. So they're not at work, so they're out in nature, and that's a natural part of us too, so that we do have a relationship with nature, and I see that being reestablished and a definite reset there.
Healing from Mullumbimby says hi. She's in spiritual quarantine. It's a reset time, cleansing, no victimization at all. She's written I'm and then hasn't finished it, but hi. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As I was online the other night talking to a whole lot of difference makers who have businesses, a friend of mine has a business. He was in New York. He's an Aussie guy, but he was in New York during September 11 and was caught up in that fiasco, right? And he was on his corporate path and, climbing the corporate ladder and, making money and ambitious and all that. And he kind of went, stop. Okay, something's got to give. And he came back and did a whole lot of shamanic stuff and sweat lodges and meditated, and then came up with this, okay, we need to bring that consciousness into the corporate world, because he'd worked inside the corporate world. So he's had this business for years, bringing people that come into corporate and they do massage and meditation, and they do, workshops with the corporate people, teaching them about mindfulness. The vernacular is very sort of mainstream, but it's like what we talk about as cosmic people, but it's just dumbed down in the vernacular for the mainstream. But his business has come to a screaming halt too. And so there's a lot of people out there that think, we're doing great work in the world. Why are we suffering along with everybody else? But I tuned into that, and we can get so caught up with the business and the busyness of our business and forget about the passion. When you start something and you're all passionate about it and you get in there and you sort of do it, and then it becomes so rote and you get so caught up with the money and the business of it. And this is the time to just sit back and reflect and reconnect to the passion. Like, why is it that I'm doing this? And maybe there's a new way I can do this. Yeah, so that's what I'm feeling with all the beautiful light weavers that businesses are sort of closing at the moment. What do you think?
We're so creative.
Yeah.
We are. We really are. And that's, if it's the arts or dance or music or, in the old days, we used to honor our craft, honor that. I mean, I remember, you're thinking of memories, I'm out of jam. And I thought, I'll just go to the store and get some, right?
Yeah.
Well, I remember my grandmother making jam with my mom and all my aunts and my grandmom.
Yeah.
And I never did that with my children. And I miss that today.
Yeah.
I want to do that again, where we are more self-sustaining and not everything being done for us without thinking about it, or being, just taking it for granted, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't mean like go back to horse and buggy, but there's some sweetness there too, some jewels that I believe we can incorporate that we got too busy and took for granted.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And with great contrast comes great creativity. Absolutely. I remember listening to Oprah many years ago, and she had this interior designer, this gay guy whose partner was swept up in the tsunami in 2004. But anyway, So this was before then. And he was given a budget of like $200 to decorate a house or a room instead of thousands of dollars. And he said the same thing. When he had less resources, he found that his creativity expanded. And because he had this very limited budget, instead of having these, you know, because when you're hanging out with Oprah, you usually have these resources available to you. Yeah, it was just really beautiful to hear him say that. When we have less to work with, our creativity grows. And I think that that's what we're all kind of doing at the moment. At the moment, we make the jam, not expect instant gratification by external sources. Healing says, I'm drawing on my inner power to create my new life. That's it. You know, draw on that inner power, that creative power to create your new life. Yeah. Yeah. And I have to say, a friend of mine who puts on dance classes in Sydney, she's doing that. She's got the dance. She's got all these people dancing online. She's drawing on that.
I want to join her. I'll join her. That would be fun.
I know. It's so cool. And has anybody else got any more questions? There's no questions. Just everybody with their it's a bit of a delay. So what else can we ask your mob? What's next to come? Because my mob have said to me, you know, hold on to your hat, kids. This is just the beginning. What else do you think is to come with the sort of global reshift? What do they say about
I think our young people are going to really come in on it. I'm really excited about them, and they have their voice already. They're really global minded. They want to take care of the planet, and they have a lot to say. And I don't think they've expressed themselves or had that opportunity, but I see them, I see that happening. I'm really excited about that, where we kind of pass the baton. I'm an oldie, and I'm going to be 68 this year. Holy crap, you know?
Darling, you look fabulous.
And I don't feel 68, but we're changing all that paradigm anyway, too, because we can. Yeah. So if we can do that, we can do this, right? But I have such good vibes about our young people coming in and really taking charge politically, especially. Yeah. Politically would be the number one choice, I would say.
Yeah.
The change.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the massive wake-up call. My mob said to me, like 2012 was a huge awakening for many people, which I didn't notice at the time. You know, we were all talking about 2012 being either the end of days or the beginning of days, or, you know, there's so much talk about what 2012 was all about. But at the time, I think on that date, the 21st of September, I got together with a group of people in Sydney, and we did this hug the world thing. You know, we came together like, let's hug the world. You know, it's not the end of the world. We're going to hug the world, as you do. But as I've talked to people since 2012, they go, oh, that happened to me in 2012. Oh, I woke up in 2012. Yeah, that happened to me in 20. You know, I hear all these people say, yep, 2012. And I'm like, okay. So I saw the awakening after the fact. And I think that that's happening right now, right now, as you say. Those young people that contracted to come in here to be a part of the shift are seeing what's happening in the world, and they're going, bing, you know, and they're waking up to remembering their soul contract, if you like, why they're here. Because they're not so focused on maybe school or hanging out with friends and being liked. You know, you remember when you were young and a teenager, like all we cared about was, all I cared about is, you know, meeting the next boy and the next pair of shoes I was going to buy.
Right.
And then it took it took the illness and the death of my mother to awaken me, because it took me out of my egoic, selfish, service to self mind that cared only about me. And I started thinking, why did people get sick? You know, why do people get sick? And those questions like awakened me to a greater reality. So it was a bit of a slow burn, I think, with a lot of
but it was deep. It was deep, Karen.
The slow burn, many years. Many years of searching, asking questions, searching. I don't think we've got time for a slow burn anymore. I think it has to be a fast.
No, we don't. I think it's going to be that foot race. What's the smallest race from here to there? Like it's not the marathon. It's the 100-yard dash or whatever.
Sprint, yeah.
A sprint, yes. We're going to do a sprint here.
Oh,
and it's kind of like a self-starter, like that charcoal that you get that you light to, it doesn't mess around. You can't even hold on to it. It's like, boom.
Alison says, my two favorite ladies, and she's sending a kiss, big kisses.
Oh.
My intuition is saying, and Mikke, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's Dutch. My intuition is saying, I can only make myself sick. I can't create for someone else, so I can't make someone else sick. So why the social distancing? That's a very good point. Mikke, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Yes, I don't know. Look, it's all part, the social distancing is all part of a plan that while we're in the thick of it, it looks crazy and pathetic. Like I keep going, oh, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But then that's my logical mind, because there's a broader perspective. There's a greater plan, which I was kind of saying before, I was tuning into this morning, as we keep everyone isolated and quiet, like the crystalline grids around the planet are sort of lighting up, like the light can do its work as they sort of hush humanity, just like, go inside, kids. We've got work to do on the planet.
It's kind of like the sleeping giants, don't you think?
Yeah.
More like that. We're like, ooh, we're just getting some ideas going, some fresh ideas. Mwah, look out, because we're going to
look out.
Yes. Well, you get us alone, we got to do something. So it's like with the First Nations, where we do a tobacco circle. We did that on purpose, where you would go inside and you couldn't come out, and you had to stay with yourself and stay with yourself and stay with yourself. And it could be a challenge. Now, when I did mine, I had 7 kids. I had my 3 kids and 4 stepchildren. So for me, it was such a relief to go inside that tobacco circle, oh my God, I get some quiet, this is amazing, and it's God, and when you can face yourself and then love yourself, it's pretty beautiful experience. And you have to go through all those onion layers first. But what's in here is a beautiful diamond. I think that's what people are getting to.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I heard online that Netflix has been crashing because everyone's at home on the couch watching Netflix, which is hilarious.
Yes.
But, and then somebody else sent me an email. I've got a friend who's very into conspiracy theories, and she's like, there's going to be a blackout. There's going to be an internet blackout. And then, instead of just dismissing her, because she's always up with like what's wrong with the world and telling me about it, instead of dismissing it, I just thought, what if there was a blackout, like an internet blackout, or even electricity? Well, like, what would I do? Because I am online, this is my world online. This is my world.
Me too.
I said to my neighbor, we were chatting yesterday, I said, we'll look after the cat. If there's a blackout, I might just go to someone's farm and plant vegetables. Just get off the computer.
Yeah, totally.
And just go.
I would think of that myself.
That would, it is a real, it's like whatever is happening, as much as we've got the conspiracies and the nefarious forces and the cabal controlling us, and, whatever kind of ideas we come up to as to why it's happening. It's happening. It is crazy. I agree with Ronan, who says the statistics just don't add up. A few thousand people lock down the whole world. But it is happening. And there is this other reason that it's happening. Now, Alison says, I think it's allowing Gaia to take a deep breath, get back, take a break. What's happening here? I don't know. The questions are going up and down. I can't keep up with them. I have been amazed at all the changes with her since we have cut back travel and everyone's inside. Absolutely, Alison.
Yeah, I agree. I think with the blackout, the first thing I thought of when I heard that was, oh my God, we get to look at the stars.
You're such an optimist. I love it. I actually went outside last night and looked up at the sky and went,
Isn't
"Hi,
it
guys."
beautiful?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, we get to look at the skies. I know. So, okay, well, let's ask your mob about what's this, Glenn Paul? Hey, when will this crazy stuff be over? We went through that. But where it's never going to be over, and there's going to be different endings and different beginnings. So there'll be an ending at some point to the isolation, but as Barbara Jean said, people are going to just start coming together anyway. They're just going to start doing it before we're officially allowed to, right? And then there will be an official, or maybe, I don't know. But the ramifications of it are, it's never going to be over. Yeah.
And we count on change. That's the one thing that's always been consistent on this planet is change. But we haven't had this, this collective ability to change all at once. That's never happened in this degree.
That has never happened. Yeah.
That's so exciting. There's an exciting side to this dark side. So we stay in the middle, we'll do good, right?
People saying hello here, Shirley Jones. Absolutely. You know, with all the disasters that we have had on this planet, wars, you know, Australia had the fires, and then we had the floods, and then there's been earthquakes. They've always happened even the World War, it wasn't the whole world. It was just most of the world, but a big chunk of it, but not the whole world. This is the first time that the whole world is experiencing something as this collective. There's something really beautiful about that, like the unity in that.
There is.
The leveling of the playing field, and the fact that princes and celebrities are coming down with the coronavirus, like Prince Charles. It's sort of, not no socio-economic system. It's not the beggar in India. The beggar in India can get sick, and the Prince of England can get, there's this unification and leveling of a playing field. That's amazing.
Humanity. We're humanity. We're humanity. We're like pretty amazing. I just mean I am, but no, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? Where we're just extraordinary. We're just extraordinary, and we're not, of course, the top of the chain. And that's what we're learning. That we are. This is our planet. This is humanity's planet, along with the winged ones and the two-leggeds and the and all the animals and the birds and all of that. We're just a part of that ecosystem. We're not. That's why it hasn't been working, because it couldn't work. It was a stupid idea to start with, okay? That just got, taken for granted. Now we get to just throw that out.
Yeah, look, there's been a lot about life that's a stupid idea, a lot. And those stupid ideas we're trying to uphold and protect, which is kind of interesting, because this guy that Ronan, who posted that thing, like, why are we bringing down an economic system over a few deaths when millions of other people die every day of other things like old age, starvation, cancer, whatever. But I don't think our economic system has been a very good idea.
It's been stupid, Karen. Totally stupid idea. Where the few get it all, There's something really wrong with that.
Something really wrong with that. I know. Look, I used to work in the film industry for fat executives making commercials about crap we don't need. And I was like on $15 an hour. I was the lowest paid worker on the job. I was the hardest worker. I'd be in a truck, and this truck, it was sometimes 52 degrees Celsius, work that out in Fahrenheit, bloody hot. you know, cooking food for fat executives that were getting paid something like, you know, $100,000 to make this commercial, and I'm getting $15 an hour. And I used to scratch my head and go, there's something very wrong here. There's a
Stupid idea.
they're sitting, eating my food and drinking cups of tea and pointing and, you know, bossing people around. And I'm in the back of a truck slaving like a dog, cooking, sweating. And I'm like, yeah, there's a great imbalance in this world. And
Yeah.
hopefully those stupid ideas we'll get some better ideas.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think,
Sorry, go on. Yeah.
I think we will. It's our nature. We are creative.
Oh, this is a good question.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how to pronounce Ella. Oh, sorry, I'm making a terrible mess of your name. How do we help those who may still not be ready to awaken despite this opportunity? Now, that's a really great question. What do you think of that?
Well, I think we help them by being who we are.
Yeah.
It's simple. We don't have to. I know when I first got awake, I would go, you need to wake up, and you need to wake up, and you need to wake up. And oh no, I'm so glad I'm over that. Thank God. And it's like, I'll just do the best I can at showing up. I'll do the best I can and shine on and you know, be the best in every way that I possibly can. And that, I think that's the answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know, so you should follow me. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Follow me, sign up to my courses. Yeah.
But not at all. Not at all. And it, you know, it's you'll know the way. You'll know the way.
Yeah.
You can trust it.
You can trust it. And absolutely. And I think that, you know, as we've talked about, the world has been buying into the fear. If you turn on the mainstream media and you see that somebody said that they're putting up the statistics like sports results, you know, so many people have died here and so many people have got the virus here, and, you know, big black and red in numbers are flashing on the mainstream news. And, you know, they've got their big graphics behind them, coronavirus. It's like, it's so big and sensational. If you don't tune into all that, and you stay in love, you know, in love with yourself, in love with life, stay happy, stay positive, stay fearless, like stay courageous, fearless. That is the best way to help those people who are going to, what does she say, who will not be ready to awake despite the opportunity. Because if they're indulging in the fear and you're not, it's like, well, why aren't you scared? Like, what do you know that I don't know?
Yeah.
Like
and so that's, you'll attract those people to you by just being who you are. Really. And if they want to have a conversation with you, well, you know, hey, you're in my org field. All right, let's do this, you know. But I believe it's, even though it's an inorganic thing that the coronavirus, I think we're in an organic shift though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How can we help people who are in fear but are not awake yet? Oh, that's the same question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we just sort of answered that, Mick. That just stay in your happy place, stay in your fearlessness, stay in your courage, stay connected to your knowing that.
Stay positive.
That all is well. Stay positive. Accentuate the positive. That's a good name for a
who
show.
said that? Who thought of that? And I was thinking Robin Williams' song with "Don't Worry, Be Happy," you know, and it's not happy out there like la la. You can be very aware of all of this, be very mindful, but you have a choice of where you're going to put your energy, where you're going to put your creative part of you, where you're going to put that. What are you going to do with this? So there's some freedom in this isolation.
Yeah. Look, the crazy is so crazy that you have to stop looking at the outside world for the source. Oh, my phone's going off. Sorry. For the source of happiness, because the outside world is not where our source of happiness is. You know, the source of happiness is here. It's like happiness is an inside job, and yet we look for the source of our happiness outside us in the Like at the moment, we're looking for it in the toilet paper.
Well, the United States. Oh my goodness, yeah.
I was up at the supermarket yesterday. Any toilet paper? And the guy just looked at me like, "Are you mad?" And I'm thinking, surely after weeks of this toilet paper thing, what happens when the toilet paper comes in? Like everybody rushes to buy it. Like I don't.
I think we're over it. I think we're over it. Hopefully, we're just over it. You know,
Yeah.
It's interesting, and we're not all like that. See, they just showed a few. I don't know anyone who did that, who hoarded it. I really
Who
don't
hoarded
know.
toilet paper? Well, I don't either. But I tell you what, Barbara Jean, I have not been able to find toilet paper on the supermarket shelves. Mind you, I've only been going to 2 supermarkets. I haven't been hunting for it, but not in the chemists or the, what do you call them? We call them chemists. You call them something else.
Mm-hmm.
How
Bathrooms.
will the shift thin the veil? Oh, that's a good question. How will everyday people have access? Ooh, how will the shift thin the veil? How will everyday people have access?
Well, I would think. Go for it.
Me?
I've been talking. Yeah.
Well, we can both talk. I
Okay.
think, going back to what we just said, that how it's thinning the veil is as people like you, everyone that's watching this, every single person, and us, as we stay positive, stay happy, stay excited, and know that the shift has hit the fan for a good reason, not get caught up in the conspiracy, not get angry. Like I look at the crazy and I just go, it does not compute. Like I get it, but then you've got to stay in the mystery, stay in the wonder, because we don't have to have complete access to the information like why everything's happening. Stuff's happening.
I like that.
Stuff's happening. Like stay in the wonder. And when you're in that place, then people that are scared that's how the veil is shifting. In fact, all the light workers that are on the planet that are going through crisis like the rest of the world aren't in crisis like the rest of the world. And that in itself is shifting the veil. And then people are looking saying, why are you so happy? What do you know that I don't know? And then the meditators and the yoga teachers and the light workers and the star seeds, they say happiness is an inside job. Your source of, life comes from within you. Your source of love comes from within you. Stop looking at it in the job or the lover or the freedom or the toilet paper on the shelf. Yeah.
and it's a vibration collectively is what thins the veil. We are getting connected. And the higher the vibration we get, and that's collective, then we are in an unknown place, an unknown charted territory. That's where the most fun is.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
The unknown. Like,
Yes.
You want adventure? Like we are an adventure of a lifetime.
Yeah. And uncontrolled. Uncontrolled. We've been controlled. Well, what do we do if we're not controlled anymore? Well, that's where the fun is. We forgot.
Yeah, totally. What does Angela say here? Hi, Angela. We can help those around us by carrying a high vibe, high frequency. We have the ability to lift those around us, just as negativity of others can bring us down one's vibe. So positivity can lift. Absolutely. Oh, she's so beautiful. Now, I had a question posed and I've just forgotten. It was a good question too. Oh, it'll come back. It'll come back. Oh, God, I had it in my mind a second ago. Anyway, it'll come back. It'll come back. Anything else we want to say about this? What was that question?
Yeah, well, we're not perfect either. We're just learning. And so it's like, for me, I've spent a lot of time online like you, Karen, and we have our classes and our shows and all this stuff. And so for us, it hasn't been as big of a shift because we're already kind of used to it. But I do say that yesterday, I just said, screw it. And I didn't do any of my normal things.
Really?
And I just I had a really good glass of wine.
You know the crazy thing, I don't really drink, not because I don't drink, I just don't drink, but I've been thinking, every day I've been thinking, I'm going to go buy some Coronas, that makes
wouldn't that be fun?
I actually love Corona. And yesterday after coming back from the supermarket, I thought, well, I go get some, and I thought, no, I don't really need it, but it's been an idea. Maybe it's because this is how this world works, is this name Corona has been you know, plastered all over social interview, the news and everything. I wonder if the sales of that Mexican beer have gone up.
I was thinking that or did they go down, you know?
I reckon they would have gone.
Who knows, right? Oh, we should look that up.
Well, what's happening in our world at the moment, it is so crazy. What you focus on expands, right? So even as light weavers, we say, don't watch the mainstream media because it's all fear-based. And so we don't. But you cannot get away from this information. I was thinking this in the shower yesterday. Everyone is talking about it. We're talking about it. Everyone is thinking about it. And so the world is focused on it and it's expanding. So this is like number 101 manifestation. What you look at, what you focus on expands. What you put your attention on, you create. What you put your attention on, you create. And here we are with our attention on this thing, and it's like spreading across the world like wildfire, and everyone's focused on it. Oh my God, when humanity wakes up to that rule, that what you focus on expand. You know, the Findhorn community, which is that amazing community in, where is it, Ireland, Scotland?
I've been there, but I don't remember where it is. But I've been there.
Somewhere up there,
up there. It's all green and gorgeous.
It's all great. Well, this was their principle. So they planted vegetables, organic vegetables, like 1 million years ago. Most of them are in their 70s, 80s, maybe dead by now. Like it was a community that was started years ago, spiritual community, planting, and they would sing to the plants and talk to them, and they would focus on the plants, and they had this. These amazing, like huge zucchinis and massive pumpkins, like the plants literally expanded. So they would focus on it, like they wouldn't plant the seeds, go inside and or drink wine and watch Netflix. They would go out there and focus.
Well, and here we're going to bring it on home to my favorite subject, which is love.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, really, it's a powerful 4-letter word.
It's a powerful 4-letter word. Absolutely. It's the only word. What does, I wish I could pronounce her name. It's Sherleah. How do you say that? Sherleah. Anyway, Joan says, is there a reason why children are not being affected as much by the virus? Is that backed into this evolutionary plan? What do you want to say about that?
Not a scientist. I'm sure science would have a better breakdown of that. That goes into some conspiracy ideas that I'm not as versed in, so I don't want to really say what I don't know for sure. But I would say there's some other reasons scientifically for that. How's that for a no answer?
She says, this is how you pronounce her name, Sherleah. There you go. Did I get it right? Sherleah. Give me a thumbs up if I got it right. Yeah. Okay. So what I got with that question, why is the children not tuning into it? Okay. So statistics are coming out now that people who have died of it already had existing conditions or have been quite elderly and their health was poor. So usually children are quite healthy. This is a flu virus. It's a flu virus. So it's killing some people, but flu viruses kill people every year anyway, right? So old people get the flu and they die. And it's interesting that the people that haven't been old that have died have had pre-existing conditions. So I think that's probably a big reason why children are not being so affected by it, because they're healthier and their immune systems can kick it off. And it's a flu virus. We've all had the flu. Okay, it's a different strain. It's got some different properties, but ultimately it's a flu virus. And and the
mothers are protecting the heck out of their children too. You know, they're praying and doing their work for their children. That counts for something. It does, a protection for the children. That's not on a science level.
That's not on a science. Yeah, upgrade of DNA. Yeah, the children have a different DNA. I think they can shrug it off. I think most of us can shrug it off, really. Yep, feel like the light in the children is part of it. Somebody said Agenda 21 is COVID-19. So what's Agenda 21?
Oh my gosh, I used to have a copy of it.
What is it?
But I wouldn't have. I don't know exactly what to say it is, but it's a breakdown of how the cleansing of our planet, of the
Okay.
things that don't work
Of the
for
things that don't
a
work.
few, like the cabal.
Mhm.
So, but that would take a whole, it's good to be aware of it, read it. I have a copy. I think we should know it. It's because that's,
So Indigo says, how's Mary going? Mary who? Is that for
oh,
you?
Mary, is
For
that
you?
Mary Margaret? Who is it?
Well, Indigo White asked that question.
Oh, yeah. Mary Margaret, she's taking a nap. She's
Oh, that's the dog,
wonderful.
Mary Margaret.
Yes.
Sorry.
I think that's who she's talking about. But Mary, unless she's talking about the Mary Magdalene lineage, I'm not sure.
It's not the normal flu, and young people do get it,
That's
Jerry
what I
says.
heard too.
Listen to the doctors and the nurses on the front line. Okay, so children are getting it. I wonder if the children
Yeah.
are dying from it. So children are getting it. It's not the normal flu. No. Thank you, ladies. That was my last question. Thank you. Thank you. So, yes. Well, yes, it's not the normal flu. No, it's not the normal flu, but it is a flu, and your body does have the ability to fight it off. Yeah. And so,
Mhm.
as I was saying to Barbara Jean, on Friday, I'm going to do another Facebook Live with another friend, light worker, light weaver, Bill McKenna. We're going to talk how to how to have super immunity, how to upgrade your immune system. But I reckon the best thing you can do is stay positive, accentuate the positive.
Exactly.
The
For
ramifications.
sure.
The ramifications of having a positive mindset, of tuning into source, of being connected to your joy, of finding the happy within, like all the things that we've spoken about today, are unbelievable. A friend of mine used to put on healing festivals in different suburbs. Like she would bring all the healers out and do like a showcase,
Mhm.
in different areas of Sydney. Embrace life, live life. She's not doing them anymore. But anyway, and I used to help her with the festivals. And one of the festivals, there was this guy with the machine, and he would put it on your pulse, and he would measure your blood, and he'd have some scientific thing. It would tell you your internal age, right? So this is probably about 5 years ago. And so I'm in my 50s thinking, oh, I'm fat and I'm unfit and I really have stopped doing yoga and I've stopped exercising. I eat far too much bread and chocolate. And I'm thinking my internal age is probably terrible. Anyway, he puts this thing on my wrist and he looks up at me in shock and he goes, how old are you? And I'm like, oh my God, I must be 100 inside. And I go, oh, I'm in my 50s. I can't remember how old I was at the time, mid 50s. And he goes, what? And I said, well, what does it say? And it says you're 25.
Oh, that works.
And I'm like, oh. And so I'm thinking my internal age is kind of a lot younger than my external age, right? And he goes, what do you do? Like he just looked at me completely perplexed. He just did not understand how I could get this reading. It didn't compute in his head, right? And I'm like, accentuate the positive.
And the chocolate probably helped. And the bread. if ever you're not quite sure, chocolate always works,
But there's something to say about, like frequency and consciousness having a profound
Yeah.
effect on your physical health. Profound
does.
effect.
It does.
Fear,
It does.
stress. I was saying to my next door neighbor yesterday, we have a lot of chats, where I live in a townhouse, she's right next door. Fear, I said, think about it. When your immune system is compromised, when you're stressed, when you're overworked, feeling stressed, don't you come down with flus and colds and, aches and pains? She goes, yeah. And I said, well, you've got to deal with the stress. That's how you upgrade your immune system. What's happening here is, Bo, do you remember me? And I run a group, Let the Truth Worldwide. Oh, she's a friend of yours.
Who is it?
Indigo White.
Yes.
Yeah. She says, do you remember me? I run the group, Let the Truth Worldwide. Let the Truth Worldwide. Anyway. So
wonderful.
Should we wrap this up, honey one?
I think so.
We've been yakking for about an hour.
Yes, this is perfect.
We just thought we'd experiment. This is my first Facebook Live from Zoom. I thought so as we spoke about, I'm letting that creativity flow. When I looked at this a few years ago, I looked at doing it. I put it in the too hard basket. And now that there's nothing else to do. It's not in the too hard basket anymore.
I know I'm going to learn some technology upgrades myself of how to do much more bigger audiences. So that'll
Cool.
be awesome.
So are you going to have another group like you had the other day? That was beautiful what you had the other day with all the cosmic ladies.
We are going to do it again. So I don't know how we're going to do it, but will be changed up. But yeah, we are. We'll be doing it looks like once a month and changing different people in and out. So
lovely.
Yeah, we'd like for you to come on too, Karen.
Yeah,
again.
Again, I know. She totally put me in. I couldn't see the face. Couldn't see my face, which is probably a good thing. But she's like, Karen Swade's over there in Australia. What have you got to say? Nothing like putting me on the spot. I'm like, oh.
You were beautiful. Of course, you have wisdom words for everyone. It was wonderful.
Things to say. Now, who's coming up on your show, Cosmic Oracle? Tell people how they can tune into your show.
Yeah, I'm on every Friday from 5 to 7. That's LA time, Pacific Standard Time. I'm on Facebook, Barbara Jean Lindsey. You can see my name here on Facebook there. And I'm live on Facebook and then live on Revolution Radio at the same time. And we are having Nancy Tremaine will be my guest, and she'll be talking about her experiences. A lot of times the majority of the show is I have interviews of people who've had extraordinary experiences, ETs, UFO, IA, whatever, Sasquatch, So you never know who's going to come on my show. And we've had some amazing people on. I love doing it. I love interviewing and being with these amazing people. So yeah, join us. And it's live on Facebook.
What's Nancy Tremaine's experience? What's her...
Well, I don't know. A lot of times I don't know. My show's on Friday, so I'm going to read her book from now to Friday. But I remember I had her book and I read it a long time ago. This is terrible. And I remember I want her on my show, and she finally said she would come on. And it's terrible, but I know that she had extraordinary experiences and she wrote a book about it.
So are these like near-death experiences or cosmic experiences, like ET experiences?
Most of them are ET experiences or interdimensional experiences. I just had Lynn Moss on my show, and she's been having experiences with the mantid race quite a bit. And then before that, I had Eric Mitchell on, and he had an extraordinary UFO land right in his backyard. And it's all been testified, like a bigger story almost than Travis Walton. So you're going to be hearing a lot about him.
So tell me his name again, or tell us.
Eric Mitchell.
Is he the guy?
You'll like him.
Eric was online the other day with the hat.
Yes.
Yeah, so I friended him. I thought, he looks interesting. Who's he? Yeah.
He is. He really is. So I'm really blessed to have these. And like you, not only have them on the show, but then they become your friend.
Oh, I know.
It's just, cool? I love that part of it. So I hope everyone can join us. And I love doing it.
You and I talked about going to Egypt, getting a little gang together and going to Egypt. I still want to do that. It's on the back burner.
It's being done right now. It's all being set up. It'll be in 2021. Oh, okay. I'll get the date in the next. It should be within 24 hours. I've been working with a team over there, an amazing team. Oh, nice. And so I will be taking a group. So maybe you can come, and maybe some of your peeps can come. It'll be 2021. By then we should be pretty squared away. And
nice.
I have to do. It's one of those things that's bigger than me. It's like have to do it.
Yeah, I've got tomorrow. I'm interviewing a guy, or having a conversation. I really don't call them interviews. Called Kenneth Leith. Actually, somebody from YouTube said, "Have you seen this guy? He's had a near-death experience." And I did look into him. It was a few months ago when I looked into him, but like you, I have to research and find out what we're talking about. But
the unknown.
He doesn't sell books or anything. He's just a dude that had this amazing near-death experience, and he's got a lot to say. He just got huge downloads from the other side. So that'll be interesting tomorrow with Kenneth. And then there's another guy, David Rippey. Oh, there's a whole stack of people coming up that I don't know. But I've got them booked out until the end of July. And
Oh, you're
Jean
better than me.
People, yeah, Jean. I've got Janine Shepherd, a woman I interviewed years ago, probably about 8 years ago, who was in a car accident. She was an Olympic athlete, and she was smashed to bits in this car accident. And while she was in a full body cast, she learned to fly a plane. And she's got this amazing story. She's got this incredible TED Talk, which has had millions of views. But she's an Aussie girl, and like you, Barbara Jean, I actually got to meet her in person because she didn't live far from me. When we met on the show, we became instant best friends. But she's now living in the States, so I'm going to talk to her. Yeah, she went over a few years ago because she travels around doing inspirational talks, you know, telling people how to overcome adversity from her unbelievable story. Unbelievable story. Yeah. So, yeah, lots coming up too. Lots. So tune in to both our shows. Yay.
Yes. Yay.
But yeah, Eric, so when's Eric on? That sounds fascinating. I want to hear Eric's story.
He's up now on my Facebook right now.
Oh, cool.
His interview is. And then I have the Cosmic Oracle YouTube channel too, but I'm like 10 interviews behind that I have to post up. So,
okay, right.
Yeah. So you know how that is too. So
yeah. Oh, Kevin Briggs has been on my show. He's amazing. You should have him on your show. Have you had Kevin on your show?
I have had him on my show.
Oh, you have?
Hi, Kevin.
Oh,
yeah.
I actually think I found him through your show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I get people through your show too.
He says, cool, turn on my phone and you were both there. Pity I cannot stay as Sandy is just putting out our evening meal. Enjoy your dinner, darling one. Perhaps I can catch some recording. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I found Kevin through you. I'm pretty sure I found Kevin through you. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
He is amazing.
And I love him. Lovely man.
He is for sure.
Yeah. All right, gorgeous one. Yeah, go on.
Thank you for having me. No, thanks for having me. I'm so glad we did it.
Yeah,
thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Big love.
Accentuate the positive, right?
Accentuate the positive. No, I don't even know how to turn this thing off. I think I just have to end the meeting. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Love to everyone.